Yeah, I thought first of all, I want to say what a great atmosphere it was for a preseason game in October. For Louisville to be playing Kansas doesn't happen very often. I thought the city responded, our students responded. There was a great buzz in the arena. First time either team has suited up against anybody else besides themselves since we all got together, and they got together in June. That's what these early games, preseason scrimmages are all about, is finding things out about your team that are strengths, that are weaknesses, and things that need to be fixed. You play a preseason game against a Division III team or something like we did last year. You don't get the answers that you need, and we have some tonight. The tape will be a great teaching tool. I'm excited about diving into it. Give Kansas a lot of credit. I thought Darren Peterson in the first half was sensational. I thought our guys responded in the second half. I thought we played better. Defensively, I thought we played better. I look at certain statistics that kind of speak to effort, and our rebounding percentage was very high. There weren't a ton of positives, but that was without question a positive. I think we got 45% of our misses back. I think they got 24% of their misses back. That flurry that they had in the first half when they made some really tough shots. I thought we let kind of our offense affect our defense a little bit. And when they went on that flurry, we had some really bad turnovers. And I think in that 4-minute segment, they were like plus 13. And I don't think our guys responded great at that period. But halftime was awesome because before I even walked in there, I heard a ton of voices, and I even stayed outside and kind of listened a little bit. And those guys were saying everything that I was going to say. And then the same thing happened after the game. When I walked in, they were all talking. I let those guys even continue to talk when I was in the room, and they said all the right things as well. So we'll have a great response to today. I know those guys are excited about learning from it and being better because of it.
Well, questions for Coach Kelsey? Got microphones around there.
Coach, if you could just kind of talk about the value of being able to go out there and play this level of opponent in the exhibition setting in terms of being able to break it down, see the pain points, see the deficiencies, and what you really need to focus in on. How valuable is it?
Yeah, it's huge. It's huge, and we'll use it as a tool to get better. The thing I told the guys is the one thing they don't have to worry about is our team being really, really, really good. As long as, we get better because of the things that we'll learn from the tape, we'll look back on this and it'll be something really, really good for our team.
Pat, do you have to, I know it's just an exhibition, but it's unlike the old secret scrimmage that everybody saw this. Do you have to pull McCammon aside and say, hey, keep your head up like this? This doesn't mean anything. This is just a data collection point.
Yeah, he'll be fine. Michael's a great player and a terrific talent. And all I've talked about and raved about is his approach and his mentality and his professionalism. Like, this is what we preach every day. If you stay steady in the daily excellence, great things are going to happen. And that kid's future is like bright doesn't even describe it. So, he knows he didn't have his best night tonight, but he's an unbelievable player, and he's going to have a terrific year.
With all the expectations on the team this season that were not there last season, how much do you think that hurt first half, and how are you calling that?
I don't know if the way we played in the first half had anything to do with the preseason expectations. The first half was Kansas played really well. We didn't play that well, but that is because of Kansas, right? We weren't very efficient on offense. You credit their defense for that. I'll have to watch the tape, but, I mean, obviously, everybody knows this. We're a very, very, very good shooting team, and we had a very poor shooting night. You know, again, I got to watch the tape, but a lot of those looks were really good, and we have a bunch of guys that shoot over 40% from three and just didn't have a good shooting night tonight. You can't always control whether the ball goes in or not, but what you can control is, you know, making sound decisions with the ball. I think we had 20 turnovers. You can't do that against a good team. Many of them were careless, uncharacteristic, kind of mistakes and turnovers that we don't normally make, and things that can be fixed and cleaned up. You know, but credit Kansas. Thought they played really well, and we learned a lot about our team from this.
Kind of answered this. I was going to ask you about the shooting and whether the shots you got were more or less what you wanted. Maybe you'll know better after you watch tape, but you know, good shooting covers a multitude of sins, and you missed. We talk about all the stuff that goes wrong, but
yeah,
a lot of those shots you
yeah, and again, I have to watch the tape, but like I feel like on makes and dead balls, when we were able to like set our pressure and like pick up and turn them, and it kind of like I felt like our defense was better on those possessions. Our transition defense on misses, without watching the tape, I thought wasn't good at all, especially in the first half. And that's what we talked a lot about at halftime. We had dug a pretty big hole. And, you know, sometimes, like I said, you let your offense affect your defense. I don't know if that's the case or not, but on misses, we were kind of on our heels, probably doing a little bit too much like backpedaling. I don't think the urgency of our transition defense of stopping the ball and building walls was very good. So, you know how it is. Like sometimes ball's going in, you're shooting it well, and it gives your defense kind of some bravado and a little bit of bounce. And I didn't like our disposition in the first half when we weren't shooting it well, and they went on that run. But I felt like it was much, much better in the second half.
Yeah, obviously, you'll see more in the film, but the first game for Sananda and Zucris here in the college level, what was your first impression?
Yeah, I think we got to get them more involved. You know, Sananda, he played 18 minutes and he only had one field goal attempt. You know, our guards, you know, had a ton of field goal attempts. I mean, that's on me a little bit to get those guys more involved. I think from a rebounding, you know, standpoint, from a physicality standpoint, from a defensive standpoint, you know, I know Peterson had 1 million points in the first half, and they put him in a ton of ball screens, but I felt like our pick and roll coverage overall was pretty good. Those guys at the point of attack, being aggressive, putting two on the ball, trying to get the ball out of his hands, especially in the second half, was pretty good. So although their line doesn't look really good, I think they did a lot of things that maybe don't show up on the stat sheet, but for sure I have to get them more involved.
Coach, you know, as far as the percentages, shooting percentages, three-point percentage, things of that nature, team started out slow last year as well. How much of that just has to do with the fact you have so many new players, you have a lot of new guys, you know, you have a lot of concepts offensively, moving the ball, spacing the ball, touching the paint. You know, is it just the kind of a product of having a lot of new guys?
I don't know. I don't think that. I think this was one game where ball didn't go in the basket very much. Credit Kansas defense. I don't think that has anything to do with it.
Yeah, Pat, just you've alluded to him a couple times already, but what makes Darren Peterson a difficult player to defend?
I mean, he's a special talent. He's got great size, length, and athleticism. Quick burst with the ball. Terrific shot maker. Plays with a lot of bravado. He's really good.
Pat, I have a non-game-related question, but there's been some backlash in college basketball nationally for the fact that now G League players well, some people who have not that far removed from high school played in the G League can come back to college and play. I wanted to get your thoughts just on, you know, not only that being a rule that's in place now and the fact that it can happen, but I was curious, what is the difference between that and getting somebody from a European pro club over there? Do you see any difference between that?
I think it's the same exact thing. Is that what your question is? Yeah, I don't think there's any difference. I mean, there's a ton of schools that are signing players that were professional players and signed professional contracts in professional basketball leagues all around the country. What's the difference? You know, several years ago, before NIL kind of really took off, there were some things, you know, some avenues, if you will, that players could start, you know, making decisions to not go to college. And I think OTE was one organization, and they changed some of the things so that their kids could still go to college. And then, you know, the G League Ignite, right? And things have changed in a major way. And, you know, so I don't think there's any difference.
Brooks?
I was wondering if Mo is dealing with an injury that kept him out of the game tonight, and then could you also just speak to, we saw Kaysen doing a pretty hard workout before the game, just how close he's getting to coming back.
Yeah, so with Kaysen, he's getting, you know, stronger and stronger and better. He's on track with his rehab. He was cleared medically, you know, relatively recently, but there's a lot of steps and there's a process, you know, to gaining the confidence in it again, being able to play full speed, trust that, and then it's, you know, it's getting back into your basketball shape and your basketball rhythm and things like that. So when the time's right is when we're going to put him out there. But, you know, we've had a bunch of discussions with him and his family and things like that. We want to make sure he is right before we put him back out there.
And then how about Mo?
What's that? Yeah, so Mo, we're making a, you know, decision on what we're going to do with him this year in terms of redshirting. So, you know, I've said many times in interviews when people ask me about him, he has extremely high ceiling. He is unbelievably talented with a huge upside. You know, he's playing on a team with a lot of older guys and a lot of older guys at his position. So there's no reason kind of to rush him. You know, we have a development mindset with him right now, and that's, you know, all of his people in his camp feel the same exact way. Love Mo, and I have big plans for him. But, you know, the situation he's in now, it's all about development with him.
Last one towards the back.
We all saw Keyshawn Pryor in uniform and going through warm-ups. Can you give an update on his recovery and how soon can we see him back on the floor?
Yeah, I mean, they just asked that. Yeah, no, it's okay.
All right, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.